Go.
Your taxpayer dollars at work, making sure smart buses are up and running, getting 11 million people each year to work, to school, to shopping, you name it.
Voters just approved a millage to buy new buses. Company said it needed that money. But after this, you may be asking if SMART is making smart choices when spending your dime. Fox 2's Amy Lane joins us tonight with more of her problem solver investigation. Amy?
Well, it is a good question, Murray and Monica. This case was originally about workplace discrimination. Now it's dragged on for more than a decade, and SMART shows no signs of stopping. Despite what appears to be a case they can't win.
Can you talk just a little bit over? I'm trying to go back into court. I need to go back.
No,
Miss, you're in my way.
Why is this attorney refusing to talk about a case her client has been fighting for 10 years?
It's been a nightmare. It was a hostile work environment, and this was clearly over the line.
They're still at this point of denial.
When Smart Bus takes care of our employees in turn can take care of our customers.
Smart. There's a lot riding on us.
SMART is the Suburban Mobility Authority for Regional Transportation. Your taxes pay to keep their buses running. But for more than a decade, this company has been fighting one of its own longtime employees. This is 57-year-old Mazyn Mike Barish. He's Chaldean. His family, Christian Iraqis who fled their homeland when he was just 9 years old. He loves this country.
Going through what we went through, watching my dad get beat up in Iraq, and it was just so violent. We came here, we were like, phew.
He became a bus mechanic at SMART for 17 years, but the nightmare at SMART for this family man and union guy began almost immediately following the nation's nightmare of 9/11.
I go to work and my time card has a picture of Atta sticking to it.
Mohammed Atta, the 9/11 terrorist.
Talking about putting a stake in someone's heart, that's what that was.
And that was just the start. These are just some of the pictures posted at the terminal where he worked. A camel in the crosshairs with the caption, "I'd fly 10,000 miles to smoke a camel." The Statue of Liberty giving a finger, threatening, "We're coming, mother F word."
I was getting threats from Macomb Terminal, from the Wayne Terminal. They were on websites.
Court documents showing most of the harassment coming from this man, fellow mechanic Rodney Bolton, seen here wearing a towel on his head at work. And here's an audio recording from the locker room played in court.
What are you doing, my friend? We careful. I did that, I'll say that, I can say that, right? I'll get it down, my friend. You got it right? Yeah. I'll go join the forces.
Even Mazyn Barish's superintendent at the time at SMART knew the harassment was happening.
When I got the letter in the mail threatening me and calling me the sand N-word, I was devastated. He walks by and he says, he laughs and says the fun is just beginning.
Barish complained to SMART supervisors repeatedly. The environment so hostile, he eventually turned elsewhere for help.
Michigan Department of Civil Rights, how may I help you?
Barish filed 4 complaints with the Michigan Department of Civil Rights. It was so bad he was too stressed to go to work anymore, ended up under a doctor's care, and lost his job.
Each time I would file a complaint, something would happen. I would get reprimanded. Before I left there, the supervisor came to me and warned me that he says, "Hey, be careful."
The Department of Civil Rights assigned the case to a hearing referee. He held 17 days of hearings over the course of a year and a half. In the end, he said it was all just locker room trash talk and that Mazyn Barish should have just punched Rodney Bolton in the nose. The Civil Rights Commission disagreed and ruled unanimously in Barish's favor, awarding him $218,000 in damages and $120,000 in attorney fees for a total of $338 grand. He had indeed, they said, been a victim of workplace discrimination based on his country of origin, a direct violation of the Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act. The commission said SMART knew it was happening and did not do enough to stop it.
There was a military intervention going on. To make these kinds of comments now against people from the Middle East, that goes well beyond locker room talk.
Matthew Weesaw is the director of the Michigan Department of Civil Rights. He was one of the commissioners on Barish's case.
Totally inappropriate, to make comments that, I'd walk a mile to smoke a Camel. I mean, that is well beyond, that is quite threatening.
But Smart disagreed and appealed that ruling from the Department of Civil Rights. Now, 10 years after this case started, another judge has issued this opinion, the Honorable Daniel O'Brien, affirming the ruling in favor of Mazyn Barish and the Department of Civil Rights, once again ordering Smart to do what's right and compensate this victim of overt discrimination. But get this, once again, Smart is appealing and refusing to talk about it.
If we could just get you real quickly. I'm sorry.
Can you talk just a little bit? We're trying to go back into court. No,
I need to go back.
No, miss, you're in my way.
Attorney Heidi Hudson running from me and exiting out a back door to avoid our cameras. Smart did respond to a Freedom of Information Act request asking how much the taxpayer-funded company has spent fighting this case. They say $315,000 and counting.
Steadfast defiance and a continued denial by a company that is supposed to service the community as a whole.
This, at the end of the day, will send a very strong message to employers that this is unacceptable behavior. When you see it, you have a responsibility to step in and stop it.
Which is why Mazyn Barish and his family are still fighting.
He's the Rosa Parks of Chaldeans. Honestly, he's my hero. They just need to do their job and protect their employees the way any other company should.
They just make excuses for it. They make excuses for it. Come on, there's no excuse.
Now, I contacted both the communications department and the general manager at Smart. Both told me they could not comment on pending litigation. It should be noted that some of the people involved in the harassment allegations still work for Smart. And remember Rodney Bolton? Well, he wasn't fired until 2008 when he threatened President Obama. Makes you wonder what's going on.
Now, Smart was ordered to pay out roughly $340,000, and yet they've spent almost that much fighting this thing, and it's been dragging on now for 10 years.
Absolutely, and continue to do so. They say they're appealing this decision yet again.
And this is at a time when so many companies and organizations would love to just settle these things for whatever it takes and get rid of it so you don't have to have all of this litigation for months and months and months, or in this case, years and years and years.
And I feel like from a public relations standpoint, wouldn't it look better to say, this may have been a culture that happened at that time. We are not that company. We are not those people. We don't support that. Here's who we are.
Yeah.
We support and embrace everybody.
And as it continues to go on, not only the economic impact that you talked about, Amy, but also the impact that's out there in everybody, in the image.
Sort of the voter throwback to this, because we all stepped up, or a majority of people stepped up and said, okay, we're going to pass this millage and give you the money you need.
Absolutely. We believe in people getting to work. We believe in what Smart does. But what are they doing to a former employee of their own?
Behind the scenes. All right. Yeah. Great investigation.
Thanks,
Amy.
Thank you.